Hi, I'm Jordan Jacobs, Director of Corporate Strategy for Phoenix NAP. With me is Brad Roberts, Power Quality Systems Director for S&C Electric.
Well, hi Jordan, it's great to be here. I always love coming to this facility, and what you've accomplished here is pretty spectacular. S&C has been in this business for a very long time, and we've provided power quality systems in the Phoenix area and around the world for very large critical load customers. But to have the opportunity to participate in the design of such an impressive co-location data center is really something we're very proud of.
How does S&C compare to a traditional double conversion UPS system?
Well, this industry has been around for a long time, and not much changed in the UPS industry up until about 5 years ago. We started more than 10 years ago building a different concept of very large-scale UPS systems that could protect large facilities like semiconductor fabs, like some of the big government agencies and other facilities that we have protected in the past. But things started to change in this industry when people realized that efficiency was becoming a critical element in the design of a data center. As data centers get larger and larger and consume a lot of power, trying to make them more efficient was something that became a top priority. At the same time, though, you don't want to sacrifice any power reliability in how you design a facility. So the whole pressure is on the industry now to become much more efficient, much more cost effective, but at the same time even improving reliability. What we've been able to do at S&C is unique in designing a much simpler system that allows the power system to be as efficient as possible, at the same time driving the overall reliability to much higher numbers.
So, for example, are there any statistics that have been done to compare reliability from the S&C to the big three manufacturers?
Well, the studies have been done. We commissioned studies several years ago. The recent 7x24 exchange meeting that just happened here in Phoenix, reliability was a big topic in that study. We've had customers who are very concerned about this issue do studies about our type of a system versus a more conventional double conversion type UPS. The problem with that kind of equipment is very complex in that you're forcing the UPS equipment to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to protect against something that might happen. The robustness of computers today is such that they really don't need a lot of power conditioning. They just need protection when the power fails. So if you take an approach like we've done and build a system that can reliably sense when there's a power problem and mitigate that problem, you end up with a much more reliable system. A recent study done showed that our level of reliability was probably 3 times what's been available over the last few decades from other manufacturers. So that's become a significant step forward, and those types of companies have started to try to redesign their products to function more like ours do. But we have the experience on large scale in the industry now, with more than 10 years of experience with these large scale sites that we've built, like the one we did 10 years ago here, are still running in Phoenix. So that's given us a real edge in the marketplace, and we're happy to see that you've taken that technology and adapted it into a very impressive facility here at Phoenix NAP.
So, I know that you mentioned previously that power supplies today don't need the same level of power conditioning. Does that mean that S&C doesn't do any power conditioning?
No, we do power conditioning. If you look at the bandwidth of what we allow power to do versus the bandwidth of what a computer can tolerate, it's a very tight band down the middle of the voltage spectrum. Okay, it's not quite as tight as some of those other systems that were needed in the past, but ours is significantly within the limits of what those computers can tolerate, and that's why major customers that have seen our equipment, studied what it can do and the benefits they can get from it, and have now chosen us, and that's why we're growing as fast as we're growing, because people need very large systems. They want, if it's a high density facility, they'd like to maybe protect the mechanical system too, and we really have the only system that can do that and do it well. So that's a big plus for us at this point.
So my understanding is that there are a number of standards out there in the IT world for power quality entering a power supply system. Does SNC stay within that standard?
Oh, well within. I mean, it's a very narrow band within a very broad range for the CBEMA curve, for the ITEC curve, the semiconductor curve for that industry, and so that's why it's so widely accepted now.
And SNC exceeds all of
Oh,
those.
of course, yes.